Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Veterans Day. We want to pass along our love and support to all of the veterans today. And the Broncos come back on Sunday. I've got D-Mac, Cecil Lammy hanging out with us. We had this really fun graphic. It said a giant town hall, but James Marilat apparently has some plans on this Friday morning. So hopefully he'll join us here at some point. But you guys, this is kind of exciting. This is something new we're going to try today. We're going to see who wants to hop on, but we get comments all the time. You guys obviously get DMs, all sorts of stuff. So we're putting the link to StreamYard, the platform that we use, so you can be a guest and you can hop on and hang out with D-Mac, Cecil, myself, James. Hopefully if it gets on here, you can ask any question. You can tell us a take that you have. We're here for it. So enter in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. It's all in the comments. But gentlemen, how are you? Happy Veterans Day, Cecil. What's new?
Yeah, nothing but love for the veterans out there, and with plenty of family in the military, it's always a day to reflect and, again, appreciate every single day. So that's where my mind's at. My mind's on all my family I have in the military and just how much I love them and how I couldn't do what they do, and I certainly appreciate what they do.
Oh,
Happy Veterans Day to my dad, who was a lieutenant in the Army, and he was in ROTC in college while playing hockey and baseball. What a schedule that was, and ran a bookstore and somehow got lucky enough to somehow be in the Army between Korea and Vietnam. I don't know how he pulled that one off, but he did, and he speaks of the Army fondly, some of the best days of his life. But he did run a bookstore in New Jersey. That is literally what he did, and played a lot of golf. Sometimes your service to this country is different than others, no doubt about it. But again, I'm always proud of my dad, and so happy Veterans Day to PETA, John McKee, Lieutenant McKee.
Well, we obviously appreciate all of the veterans, all active military as well, to everybody. So just thank you all from the bottom of our heart. I do see Troy saying a link. There should be in the comments, whether you're joining on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Check it out. That way you can hop in here. I hope somebody asked D-Mac and Cecil both some really interesting questions. I'm kind of here for it. Yeah, everybody, let's go coffee break. Appreciate it. So again, that link's going to be rolling out. Give it a second, then hop in with us. Make sure when you do hop on, though, let us know your name and where you're coming from. But you guys, the big news of the morning is that Damani Leach had tweeted out about potential uniform updates, maybe, or wanting at least to get some feedback. So he said, we've heard a lot of feedback about our uniform combos recently. I know the stripes don't align, but we want to hear more. Season ticket members, be on the lookout for a survey about what you would like to see us wearing on Sunday. Thoughts. So I want to get both of your thoughts before we get into some of the questions on these surveys. Cecil, are you ready for new uniforms?
Yeah, they've been ready for a while, but with the ownership situation, as D-Mac can tell you, they didn't have any money. They didn't have the time and the money, the resources to do that. Now that's not an issue. So you've got all the time and money in the world, and new uniforms will happen. And whether it's a throwback with the new horse and the D that's snorting, whatever, I just think it's time. We've had these uniforms since 1997, and even though I love the 90s and tend to be stuck in the 90s, yeah, it's a little freshen up, freshen up to the look, I think would be really good for the Broncos.
I hadn't seen that tweet from Damani Leach. He's got a great sense of humor there, man, and he's just saying what is bizarrely true with the stripes. Again, we get to this fashion stuff, and I'm left out. If you want new uniforms, cool. Cecil knows more about fashion than I could ever dream of. So I will. Well, I mean, look at the shoes, sneakers. I mean, look at everything. I don't know. I probably did pick this up off the floor of the bedroom. So if it
did you do the sniff test? Are you one of those guys that does the sniff test? You pick it up, and if it smells okay, you're gonna wear it.
Hey, less laundry for me to do later. So. Listen, I don't care if you think you need new uniforms, get them. The Nuggets have had 15 different uniforms in the past 2 years. So sure, you're probably right.
And I am so tempted to get that City Edition uniform. I cannot tell you how many times I've rolled in Facebook. It's been a day? It's been out for a day. Yeah. I've seen the thing multiple times scrolling through on Facebook, and I have to fight and resist the urge to buy that Nuggets uniform because it looks so damn cool.
Go for it.
Cecil getting on the Nuggets hype train there with the what do you like about him? Do you like the red?
It's clean. It's clean. Too often they do stupid stuff and they throw in a bunch of stuff and they look different. I am a fan of the Antonio McDyess jerseys. I know the Crayola jerseys, the rainbow jerseys. Those are the favorites of everyone, and the old Dikembe Mutombo throwbacks. I remember Alex English and TR Dunn and all those guys, right? And little Michael Adams out there jacking up threes. Like, but for me, the Antonio McDyess, LaFonso Ellis, those Nuggets, and that's got a little bit of that in the color scheme. I like the striping on the side. It's just a really clean look and a really cool look too.
I just got, in terms of the uniforms, let me just say one thing, okay? I have been tortured by the color orange my entire life, okay? Ipswich Tigers, orange and black. Syracuse, orange. It's literally the name of the school with the orange men, but now it's Syracuse orange. Denver Broncos with the orange. Just do me one small favor, Damani. No orange on orange. I cannot tell you how bad I have been cursed by seeing the places I've grown up with in a variety of times do orange on orange. Anything but orange and orange would be fine by me.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So we do have somebody in the back. We're going to give him a quick second. Troy, if you can still hear us, turn on your camera. We would love to see it. Otherwise, we'll bring you in here in a few. That way that you can, ask your question or whatever you feel like you need to get off your chest. Again, people, I do see the link in the comments. Come hang out with us. Come actually be a guest here on Coffee Break this morning. But we'll get to Damani Leach. And again, the questions that did get sent out to some of the season ticket holders. We got some inside info. If I'm not a season ticket holder, my family is, but we got the questions. So let's go to the first one. We'll get your guys' opinion on them. The Denver Broncos' primary home jersey color should be orange or navy.
Orange.
Orange.
Okay, I like it. How frequently should uniform changes be considered? Every 5 years, 10, or 20?
5.
I'll go 10.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I could go 20. Okay, pictured below are the Denver Bronco helmet designs throughout the team's history. Rank them 1 through 4. Which one is, let's just do your top 2. Which one would you want to stay, or which one would you like second best, Cecil?
The 2 in the middle, honestly. The 2 in the middle. The orange one with the Buck and Bronco, and then the old school D. Like, yeah, no offense to the new helmet, because that's what they want everything in, but like those it's incorporating some sort of that look, that would be pretty cool. Like modernizing that.
Hey,
Okay.
Cecil, does that fucking Bronco have a name?
It did. I don't know it, but I believe it did. DMAC.
I have friends of mine that have that like they go way back with that, man. They got like tattoos of that, and I think it looks terrible. That is by far my least favorite one. Listen, I am partial to the D. First of all, DMAC. Second of all, that is the look of the Orange Crush when I was living out there in Steamboat in the late 70s with the Orange Crush and going to the Super Bowl for the first time. I just think that D is, I love it. I just am such a big fan of that. So that's always my first choice. I just think it's a cool ass logo.
Okay, well, we do have Troy back there. He doesn't have a camera. We're still going to bring him in. Troy, I'm interested to hear. Well, first of all, I know you're on with us every single morning. You're always in the comments, so thank you so much. But what do you want to ask the guys about? Hit us.
I have a DMAC question from back home. So I'm from Rochester, New York. I lived in Fort Collins when I was a kid, so I'm a Broncos fan for life. But I was wondering, when's the last time you had a garbage plate?
A garbage plate? It's been a long, I know what it is, but it's just not something that really wasn't from my part of New York, really, in all honesty.
So,
I know what you're talking about.
So were you a Hyde's guy?
What's that?
Were you a Hyde's guy or a Salem guy?
I did endorsements for Hyde's Hot Dogs.
Okay.
For 3 years, I was the voice of Hyde's Hot Dogs in Syracuse. That is not a joke.
So, and then you were then in Buffalo with Salins, right?
What's that?
Then in Buffalo it was Salins?
Salins, no, it's in the, wow, we're going boring here. There's another hot dog joint there in Buffalo. I forget it. We're killing people with this conversation.
Was Troy the one on special teams eating the hot dog? That's all I want to know.
There
I
you go.
was literally going to ask that question.
Oh, no, I wish. But I watch you guys every morning, and you guys do a great job. It's a lot of fun. So I appreciate what you guys do.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Troy. Troy, I have a question for you. Do you have any hopes for the playoffs, or have your hopes gone down the drain like a majority of Broncos country?
I think the team needs to fix the offensive line. If that gets fixed, there's a possibility. But with the amount of injuries we've had, it's just going to be a rough go of it. Russell drops back, looks for pressure more than looks for receivers, I think. So other than that, yeah, if we get a couple lucky breaks, but this week against Derrick Henry, I'm a little worried. Really, really worried.
No, I'm with you. One other question we got for you. Do you want new uniforms?
Yeah. I do like the old color for the jerseys, but the old pants would have to go. There has to be something special about those.
Okay, sounds good. Well, Troy, any other questions for Cecil, myself, DMAC? If you want to talk hot dogs, you can always chat with them in the DMs. We'll always talk hot dogs with you.
Well, I was listening the day you guys were going to order the hot dogs or bring it back to the studio, and it was rung a bell. I'm like, it's a popular thing in our area, and being DMAC from Syracuse, I'm like, I wonder how many times they ran down here for that stuff. So, alrighty, well, you guys do a good job and have a great day.
Thank you so much, Troy.
Thanks, Troy. Appreciate you.
Garbage plate.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff there. But hey, Hyde's Hot Dogs. It was my first endorsement ever, and I was still in college at the time, and I just it was awesome. And my tagline was Hyde's Hot Dogs, cool. And the guy liked how I said cool. So they paid me for 3 years to say cool after Hyde's Hot Dogs. So
okay.
Look up Hyde. Oh boy, golly, that would be fun audio if I could ever find that. Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll bring in James Merrilat because he's with us, because we can definitely talk about the hot dog situation yesterday with Dwayne Stukes, but also the hamstring injuries that this Broncos team is doing. James, did you just wake up, my friend? What's going on?
I didn't know I was on.
We got a promo. There's graphics.
We had a text message chain earlier this week.
Look it.
James. So in case anyone was wondering, apparently James does not check his mentions.
Right. Wait,
He
James
doesn't want to know.
Isn't James technically the boss?
Yeah. I'm curious to find where this was, but I'm here now.
James. Do I need to go back and find the message?
Wow. We're going Pete Carroll Petty.
Oh, we
Petty
are.
Pete
Okay.
Carroll by Rachel.
Well, while I do this, the hamstring injuries for this Broncos team. Andrew Beck now has one. KJ Hamler's not playing on Sunday. James, I know you're very passionate about this subject. Let's hear it.
And Clint may be right. I may still be on London time. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's not something that's just this year. You can't blame it on Nathaniel Hackett and his practice schedule and the regen days and all this kind of thing. It's been going on since Luke Richardson left and went to Houston. It just has. That's the fact. And I mean, you go down to training camp during the Fangio years, and it was which wide receiver is going to be in a bucket hat today because they tweaked their hammy. It happens over and over and over again. 2 days in a row at practice. They have somebody pull a hamstring. Like, it's hard enough to keep your football team healthy when they're having to deal with contact injuries, right? Those are going to happen. What can you do? But this kind of stuff is inexcusable. Look, there were media members in this town yesterday saying, hey, it's time to take a look at this. The kind of people who aren't normally very critical of the team. And then they walked it back a little bit. It's time to take a look at it. I'm not going to walk that back. They got an issue when it comes to strength and conditioning. Lauren Landau's a popular guy, and he's a guy who a lot of people in this town like, but you can't ignore the evidence, and something's amiss. It just is.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to need you walk back your statement saying, I didn't know I was on when I have a wide open on Friday text message from you.
Wow.
Yeah, and you never confirmed.
I just assumed that means, okay, I'm good to go.
No, it was hey, we're going to do Thursday or Friday. And I said, I'm wide open on Friday.
Hey, Cecil, mommy and daddy are fighting.
I know. I'm going to sit on the stairs and cry. This is going to put me in therapy again, Rachel.
Yeah.
Let's be careful, though. It's spicy.
Gosh, again, if you are just tuning in, there is a link for you to hop on and join us. Troy was on here just a little bit. He talked about it. Cecil, for you, let's go back to some of these questions about the jerseys and the uniforms for the Broncos. We got some more questions on here from this season ticket member audience. So where do the Denver Broncos uniforms rank among other NFL teams? This is one that I actually found to be very interesting. So Cecil, where would you rank yours?
Yeah, right now, I mean, they're middle of the pack. When they wear this stupid color combination, it looks terrible, so they're bottom. But like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's not a classic look. You know, when you said, oh, it should, don't be 10 years, it should be 20 years. Well, Rachel, they don't have the classic look. It isn't the Packers or the Steelers or even the Browns with their stupid bland look. But like, when you have that classic look, yeah, you keep that. When you don't, When you're a team like the Broncos, you want a little here, one a little there, one in the 80s, one in the 90s. Like, yeah, change it up. You're able to do that. I think it's great for marketing. So, yeah, they're middle of the pack. I'm not going to get riled up either way, top 5 or bottom 5, like whatever, middle of the pack.
Okay. I'm curious, who has the best uniforms in the NFL?
Oh, great question.
The Colts.
Colts is classic. Yeah. Steelers are classic. All the classic teams. Packers are classic.
I think the Steelers are the most. I think the Steelers are the most intimidating, and I think the Cowboys are the most iconic.
You know what's a great uniform? People aren't going to like to hear this. The
Raiders
is a great.
Raiders are a great uniform. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They lucked out. They figured it out. All those guys got the right heritage, the right look. They don't have to do anything because the Broncos never really got it right in the first place. You know, you can change all the time. There's nothing you're betraying.
Yeah. It would be weird to see like the Packers change up their uniforms.
They won't. They never would.
It would be.
Some of the new ones are good, although it's a little bit of a throwback. But like the Chargers, powder blue, great uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Great uniform. You know,
I like the Panthers in the black last night. You know,
that was sick.
The black helmet was sweet. That was great. And the fact you only kind of see the Panther was cool. Like that was cool.
Agreed.
That was really, really good. So look, if they're gonna redo it, and I think they should, I think they should just go with a totally new look. Just think outside the box. And you know what I would do? I would be Oregon. I would have about 18 different combinations, and you never know what we're gonna wear.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I mean that is really actually a brilliant idea. There's no heritage. There's nothing that you would be betraying.
You'd sell a bunch of jerseys.
Idea right there, James.
You'd make a ton of money. You'd make a ton of money.
I'm the later rival, but I come in just bringing.
I mean, how many different helmets does Oregon have per season?
I don't even know, a ton. Have a metallic orange helmet, have a metallic blue, have a matte one. I mean, just be all over the place.
Yeah, those helmets, and you see them in college. I've seen with Arizona State and Oregon. They blend from one color to another as they're being reflective.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Why not? The one great thing about Denver, here's what's great about Denver. It's a place people want to be. So you get new people to Colorado and Denver all the time. So it is ripe for something bold and different. And you really don't have to rely. You'll have older people grumbling about crap, but who cares? They can wear their, Gradishar, jerseys every week if they want. You don't have to worry about those people. You got those people. Let's do something fun and new.
I think the only thing you can't change is orange and blue.
Oh yeah, of course. And even with Oregon, everything is a shade of their colors.
Correct.
They don't go away from their primary colors.
Correct. So as long as you do orange and blue, have a blank canvas, go crazy, do something completely different. I think putting this in the hands of fans is a mistake. It to me shows a lack of leadership. Like, no, you know what you're doing. Why are we doing it?
James, it's a survey.
James woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Wait,
man.
Why are we doing a survey? Why?
Because that's how you engage the fan base.
Because they're kissing their ass, James. The Broncos suck right now. They got to kiss everybody's ass. Hey, we really care, everybody.
We kind of care. We're telling you we kind of care.
Well, send me a survey when you want to replace that crappy stadium too. I'll be glad to fill that out.
Well, okay.
Which one would you rather have? The new uniforms or a new stadium? Obviously, James is here stadium first, but which one comes first?
Stadium.
Stadium for everybody, huh? Okay.
Oh, we are so far behind, and people
go to a new stadium, and it's so embarrassing when you go to Empower Field now. New stadiums are just a different experience.
The only thing I can assume about people who want to defend Empower Field is they haven't been anywhere else.
Correct. They're comparing it to Old Mile High, right? Like, I don't went to that one. This one's nicer. It's not. It's been a mess from the get-go. You know where I was when Champ Bailey had his 100-yard interception return? Standing in the damn bathroom line, and I went out there at the start of halftime. It's been a disaster from the get-go, and they need to just bring out the wrecking ball, implode it, and start anew.
Yeah, it's crazy what you can do with technology and just new and better ideas. And by the way, it's not just going to be the stadium. It'll be an entire entertainment type of district. The fact that I walk out of a game and I just simply can't go have a beer easily, like I can't walk right out. Do you know they're building this new stadium in Tennessee right next to the old place? It is at the edge of Broadway, one of the biggest nightlife areas in the country. And on the other side of Broadway, at the top or bottom, depending, well, top because it goes downhill, is Bridgestone Arena for the Predators. So you start with a hockey game, you go through the nightlife area that's right, probably better than Vegas in all honesty. And you go down, you cross the bridge, and you're in the football stadium. I mean, that is a destination location. That's a place people want to be. We've got a hockey basketball arena with a useless entertainment venue with eliches that they're going to level anyways, like a children's science museum and an aquarium. And God bless them, I'm not against it. Then you have overpasses and train tracks leading to bushes and empty parking lots. I mean, we have the worst designed entertainment district connected to our stadiums. And yeah, Coors Field is right down the road. But have you guys ever walked from Ball Arena to Coors Field? I mean, it sucks. I mean, unless you want to go to Whole Foods. I mean, it's just it's like nothing until you get to finally Larimer. It's just, we are not designed the right way right now. The one area that's got it right is Coors Field. You can walk out of Coors Field and you got a ton of options. You may not like McGregor Square, but it's an option at least. And there's entertainment and places to hang out. Going to Coors Field and putting a weekend around that makes sense. Going to the Nuggets, Avs, or Broncos, it's like you're going to a desert.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. In the stadium, they need to put a roof on it. That was a total miss.
Yep.
And look, if you want to be, hey, we're a cold weather team, fine. Keep the roof open.
And
just close it for the Super Bowl.
By the way,
close it for concerts in the Super Bowl and the draft.
Nobody claimed people in Buffalo were smart. So what they're doing in Buffalo is they're creating an overhang to protect the fans, but the roof isn't going to close. They are making literally $1 billion mistake. Correct. And I can't help it if they're stupid. What you need, obviously, is a good, smart, retractable roof that you can open if you choose to open it. But so if you have light snow, I mean, okay. But football is not better in big piles of snow. It's not. It's not better football.
Well, and you can't tell me it wouldn't have been better at the end of the 2012 season against Baltimore in the playoffs when Peyton Manning couldn't feel his hand to just go, you know what? Let's close it. Let's have it 68 degrees in here tonight. Like, no, of course that would have made more sense.
Yeah, that's a great point, James. Are people against winning a Super Bowl? Because that's what cost them that year.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yep.
Let's just be smart about this. It can still be grass. You can do like they do in Arizona and Vegas where they wheel it outside. It grows outside. They bring it in. Like, there's ways to do it.
Here's another objection that kills me. I don't want to drive that far to like wherever it's going to be. It's like, sorry. You have to drive someplace. I'm so boo-hoo. You have to drive, another 10 minutes? I mean, where could the stadium be that it's going to extend your drive that poorly? And by the way, there's not traffic downtown? Like, that's not a problem for some people? It's so myopic, some of the disagreements or some of the arguments against the stadium. It drives me nuts.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Okay, well, James, DMAC, it is 10:55, which means it is time for Cecil's Fantasy 5 at 10:55. Thank you both. James, I appreciate you. DMAC, you as well. Happy Friday, gentlemen.
I'm going to go eat a hot dog.
I was going to say the garbage plate.
You got to say cool, though.
I'm sending you the receipts, Rachel.
Wow. Wow. Still
our weekly meetings there.
Robert Saleh. Yeah.
After all, it's Cecil's Fantasy 5.
High five. Who do you start? Who do you sit? Any sleepers? Here's Cecil Lammy with this week's 5 fantasy tips.
All right, Cecil Lammy, how are you today?
Day's still punching. How are you doing?
I'm good. It was nice for Troy to jump on. When you try something new, you never know what you're going to get. So we appreciate Troy for hanging out with us for a little bit. We'll see if anybody else wants to hop in. Of course, James always giving a little bit of crap. That's just his motive. But we did learn that he clearly does not check his mentions, which might be good for him. Okay, but let's get into Cecil Fantasy Guide. Changes in Germany. What do you got for us?
Yeah, are they ever going to go to Rashad White for Tampa Bay? You've got that game in Germany this week as the NFL goes international again. Like, okay, whatever. Stop trying to make fetch a thing.
Yeah.
Like, NFL, like, it's just not going to be an international game, not in our lifetime. But they're trying now in Germany, and it's Seattle and Tampa Bay, and it's Leonard Fournette complaining about his role. Leonard Fournette not really doing much with his role, and Rashad White sitting there, respectively, chomping at the bit to get going. This rookie running back is explosive. He does have some power to his game, but he's mainly known as a space player that can eat up chunk yardage and chunk plays. So could you see some changes in Germany? Could the Buccaneers, who definitely need an injection of youth on their team, an injection of life and energy and excitement and electricity, is that Rashad White? Maybe. I'm willing to take a chance, sit him on my bench until he does blow up for the fantasy playoffs, which are closer than people think. We're in week 10. Most fantasy playoffs now begin in week 14. So you got to be ready.
It's scary, actually, how close we are, and yet we're only really the halfway zone. Okay, but trust in the Bears. What do you got?
Yeah, trust in the Bears because Chicago is playing good football. Like, yeah, and the Justin Fields naysayers, I think, are taking big L's, right?
Yeah.
And I think everyone's getting a little ahead of themselves. But I had suggested, like, hey, it wasn't that long ago when Jalen Hurts was thought of the same way, the exact same way as Justin Fields. Now Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate. And I'm not saying that Justin Fields is an MVP candidate or will be and continue on the same path, because Jalen Hurts, when they put better weapons around him, he's developed as a passer in addition to being a great runner. Fields right now is a great runner. He's a work in progress as a passer. Now they're adding tools and they're putting people around him. Guys like Cole Kmet, the tight end, is coming through with those couple of touchdowns. Both of their running backs I trust this week, and David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert. And honestly, if I'm the Denver Broncos, I would look at David Montgomery next year as he's going to leave Chicago, because Herbert's the man. Herbert's a great back. He could easily be the starter, but Montgomery's their guy right now. Montgomery will be gone next year. If you're the Broncos, you have Chase Edmonds, you have Javonte, who I don't know if will be the same. David Montgomery would be on my short list, but that's a next year conversation. For right now, trust in your Bears. Trust in Fields. Yes, Cole Kmet. I'm not a Cole Kmet fan at all. So if I'm saying trust him, yeah, yes, I've been bashed over the head. Like, Kmet's going to come through for that young man, so he'll come through for your fantasy team.
It's a good thing D-Mac still isn't on here, because he is all for Justin Fields. Okay, Les Najee.
Yeah, the Steelers have said less Najee Harris, which is interesting because they're going to go with Jalen Warren. And Jalen Warren's a fine back. He's a power back. He's not more talented than Najee Harris. But as they're kind of struggling and scrambling, it's like quicksand in Pittsburgh. And, you know, Kenny Pickett's there, and he's not playing real good football. And will the Steelers, who are going to have a good draft pick, will they be bold enough to get rid of Kenny Pickett after 1 year? My answer is no, I don't think they will. And I think perhaps given the quarterbacks that would be available, and I haven't done a deep dive yet on this draft class, that's December and January. But with the quarterbacks that would be available and available for the Steelers with their pick, you'd have to consider of treating Kenny Pickett like Josh Rosen. And he's not a jerk like Josh Rosen is, allegedly, or whatever I have to say. But yeah, they're struggling. They're in quicksand. They trade away Chase Claypool. They say more Pat Freiermuth, which is important to note. You're probably starting him anyway. But now they're going to use less Najee Harris so they can use more Jalen Warren. And I just don't think that makes sense.
What is it with Kenny Pickett? What's just not
he's just average. I mean, he's a hardworking kid, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with Kenny Pickett. Yeah. It's just the level of actual talent that you have. Like, he's smart. He's mobile. His arm is decent. The hand size thing is dumb to me, but like, it's just that collection of everything. Like, he's good. He's not great. And if he were to hit, if he fully develops, he's Derek Carr. Derek Carr doesn't win you anything in this league. Yeah. So, you know, are the Steelers going to be okay with a Derek Carr? Maybe. And I think, honestly, they don't have the wherewithal to move on from a first-round quarterback after 1 year.
Gosh, a quarterback situation, the drama that follows. Okay, still starting Pollard.
Yeah. Jerry Jones is not the brightest bulb in the shed. Jerry Jones has said multiple times Ezekiel Elliott's going to start when he's healthy and he's ready to start. And guess who's healthy and ready to start? It's Ezekiel Elliott. But everyone that watches football knows Tony Pollard is the better back. So for me, from a fantasy perspective, now Elliott shoves his way back into the RB2 conversation, but Pollard's still a strong flex play because it only takes a play with a kid like Pollard, who is a great receiver out of the backfield as well. So I'm still starting Pollard. I don't have Zeke on any of my teams, honestly, because I don't think Zeke's that good anymore. But Tony Pollard is good. And much like the Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery situation, and Montgomery's better than Elliott is right now. But you just look at it and go, man, that backup's so good. Wish they could get him on the field more. And Zeke in a first game back, maybe he gets a little bit banged up, whatever. Like, it's still the time to start Pollard. I'm not just putting him back on my bench because Zeke is back and starting because Jerry Jones loves him and paid him.
A lot of people say it's about the brand of Ezekiel Elliott, and that's why he's sticking around in Dallas so much. Okay, more from Moore. What you got?
Yeah, Rondell Moore, who is one of the most explosive players, I think, top of my head, and maybe Jake, our crack research team behind the scenes, can look this up. But at his pro day, Rondell Moore, I believe, had a 42-inch vertical. Now, that's top of my head, so I may be wrong on that, but it was greater, because your great verticals, you're getting into the 37, 38 inch. I think it was 42-inch vertical. Just crazy hops. Crazy explosive. And with DeAndre Hopkins back, now you see okay, so much attention is paid to Hopkins that opens it up for more. Now, if you look at Yahoo leagues or ESPN leagues, he's about 60% available. So there's a lot of people already have Rondell Moore, but there should be more coming from Moore. And weren't we just talking about helicopter parents? Kyler Murray's dad is causing some problems in Arizona. I'll tell you who's not causing some problems. It's Rondell Moore. So more for more would be nice.
Wait, I need the details on.
I can't give you much on air. But yeah, I mean, when you have the helicopter parent, this has happened before with lesser players, by the way, like a Connor Cook. Connor Cook, his parents actually in the pre-draft process, they never called me, which I was kind of sad about because I went out of my way to say that the kid couldn't play. Not personal, just watch him talking to coaches and everything. I'm like, that guy can't play. But they called a couple of my friends, personally phone call a couple of my friends who do draft analysis, and they chewed them out for not having their son higher. Never seen it before. I've gotten emails from parents and been like, you should be higher on my son, or I'll be your worst enemy, or all these sorts of things. And then you do a little Google and you're like, oh, that's his mom. Right? So I've experienced that a little bit, but I've never got a phone call from a parent. I've had a parent come up to me after practice and ask me what their son needs to do better. And this is a professional football player, and I'll tell you off air who it is. Very well-known name, very well-known and loved by Broncos fans, even though he's not here anymore. I'm kind of telling you who it is, but I've had parents say hey, what does my kid need to do to get better? I'm like, well, I'm not a coach, but this is what I'm seeing. And, so, hey, I've been a sports parent. You try as hard as you can. I've told the story. I was at a 7-on-7 thing with the Broncos. My son was playing quarterback and he was having a bad day. Wasn't a good day. And I was sitting just with other parents and they didn't know who I was. And they're ripping into my kid. And it took everything I had to just sit there. As a public figure, I can't start cussing or start throwing punches or whatever, even though my countryside almost came out. But no, it's something as a sports parent, you just kind of got to take. And for me, and is what I told my son, I was like, well, you just got to play better. You don't want people to do that. Got to play better. You shut them up. And that's what he did the next time out.
Okay, interesting. The detail, the T, as the young ones call it, right, Cecil? All right, that is Cecil's Fantasy 5 presented by Hooters. Cecil, let's move ahead to this weekend because obviously this is a make or break game for this Broncos team. The season is on the line. Who are you taking and why?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos because I'm dumb. No, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos in hopes that we see the changes that we need to see. There's been flashes with this team, flashes with the Broncos and it's all on the offense. Okay. Defensively, they do have problems and questions and pass rush. And, Nick Benito is going to get ran on. They're going to find him. It's like the Water Boys kicker. They're going to look, oh, there he is. Benito, run at him. That's what they're going to do all day. It's going to be Derrick Henry left, Derrick Henry right, student body left, all that kind of stuff. But I have confidence, very shaky confidence, And again, I don't have confidence in this pick. But I will say the Broncos because rational coaching, if they can actually get that from Nathaniel Hackett, means that you will run the ball more. You will protect Russell Wilson from himself, from the idea. And listen, Mahomes falls into this trap. He did against Tennessee last week because Tennessee gave you the clue to beat Kansas City. Tennessee didn't go after Mahomes. And I remember when our very own Nate Jackson made his rap that was like, don't listen to Cecil Lemmy. It was the week they played the Chiefs. And I was like, if you blitz Mahomes, he'll kill you. Like the advanced data says you don't blitz Mahomes. You don't blitz him at all. He'll kill you. He'll already probably kill you. But if you blitz him, you're dead. You're done. And that's why Nate was like, no, blitz him. I was like, advanced data says don't. Film study says don't. And what did Tennessee do? Rush 3, drop 8. They force you for Kansas City to like dink and dunk, and Mahomes doesn't want to do that. Mahomes is like a race car in the red, and he's just all trying to wants to hit that accelerator, right? And you force him in. Josh Allen does it. Russell Wilson does it, where you got to kind of protect him from himself. How do you do that? You run the ball, and then when he really want to take that deep shot, now you can because you've been running and you've adjusted. It's the declaration of influence. I've said it before to you, Rachel. This game is about declaration and influence. Those two things rule this game. There is nothing else that matters in football other than what are you declaring with your formation and your personnel, and how does that influence your opponent? Period. That's this entire game. I can sum it up in those 2 words: declare and influence. So declare, you're heavy. Hey, we're running. We've been running all day. Influence the defense, bring them closer, hit them over the top, kill them with your pass game. That's how you win this game. And rational coaching, and the assumption of rational coaching, which is very dangerous, is the fact that you're going to do this coming out of your bye.
Well, okay. So one, we know wristband Russ, he's here. Will he stay? We've seen him in practice this week. Will we see that because maybe they are just changing the playbook? I don't want to say completely, but are they just dumbing it down here with the wristband?
Yeah, just staying on the same page. You know, the wristband talked to me. I did 3 hours by myself on Wednesday, so I kind of got it all off my chest, but it's a little overblown. You know, quarterbacks wear wristbands. Like it's something more for simplicity purposes. We know,
so that's
like,
so they're going back to the basics, hopefully, with it. This isn't going to be the same playbook that we saw at the beginning of the season.
Well, and it's the language of this system. This system is honestly, even though it's like super complicated, it's honestly very simple. What makes it complicated is the language, because you're going to, 18 dive is 18 dive, 38 toss is 38 toss. These are all plays that everybody knows, but what they call them and the 10 words that is used to describe a play and the formation, that's where this thing gets a little trippy, to use an Aaron Rodgers word. It's a little trippy there. So what the wristband does is you're in his headset, you just say 15. You look at the wristband, 15. Okay, JetBlue YX 8538 dive on 3. Ready? Break. That's it. Instead of repeating it in the head. What was it? Was that X jet or Y jet? What was it? What? Huh? What'd you say? Like, no, it's 15. Russ, 15. Call 15. Oh, 15. Okay, X, Y jet, blah, blah, blah. So it simplifies that part. And then hopefully we should see less delay of games because of it. So for me, I think bashing Russell Wilson has went from being fun and trendy to some to boring and personal and pathetic. Honestly, the whole Russell, and you're a Russell Wilson apologist. No, I'm not. I wanted Aaron Rodgers. Okay. I'm the guy Russell Wilson puffed up to at the Senior Bowl. Okay. I've actually seen the real Russell Wilson. I know the fire that burns within that man, and he's got to stop telling us how hard he works. Okay. Like, I'm working real hard, rise and grind, hashtag grind. Like, okay. Yeah. We get it, dude. We get it. Play better. But the people that are bagging him because he's fat or whatever, he went on vacation. Oh my God, he's on vacation. All this stuff that we get, the tea with Russ and spicy and like all that, like, oh, okay, Russ, stop. All right. He's a cornball. He's your cornball, Broncos country. So get behind this guy. He's got to play better football.
Mr. Unlimited. Yeah, you got to be unlimited. You got to have
Unlimited. It's
Oh,
so
God.
crazy. It hurts. Is this Nathaniel Hackett, though, saying, Russ, it's not working? You're going to go out there and you're going to wear the wristband. So do we need to give a little bit of credit to Nathaniel Hackett of him?
No, none, zero.
So
Zero.
this is all Russ, you think?
No, this is not Russ. This is them working together. So I guess if you want a little bit of credit to Hackett, but we only have a couple minutes left, and then Broncos starts at 11:45. So I got to scoot. But like, dude, Hackett should have been an August thing. Mm-hmm. It's flipping November, and they're having like this come together moment. Yep. Seriously, it is week 10. Their record is terrible. And now in November, we figured it out, guys. It's a wristband. Shocker. And this whole, we're figuring each other out. You had all off season. It's called Not for Long for a reason. The Walton Penner Group has paid Russell Wilson. He's here. Nathaniel Hackett, they can wash you away, just like Frank Reich, just like Matt Rule. And I know those guys got more than just half a year or whatever, but like, you need to realize in every day, in everything that you do, and this is for all of us, the importance of what you do and why. It's a grind, it's a day, and I'm so busy. Yeah, that's fine. But do you realize that you're always setting a precedent for the next day? You're always building on your reputation for the future. Every single one of us, and every job that you do, whether you love your job or you hate your job or your football coach or your postal worker or wherever you're at, you are setting your reputation every single day with your work and with your production level. This is a production and results-based business. The results for Nathaniel Hackett suck, okay? Nathaniel Hackett does not deserve to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos at all, period, point blank. You can't convince me of otherwise. So now they figured it out, wristband. What was that?
Is there anything he can do to change it?
Beat Kansas City twice. I'm going to call for him to be fired unless he beats Kansas City twice. And guess what he's not going to do? Beat Kansas City twice. So get him out of here, get your real head coach, and get you someone that already would have known this with Russell Wilson, because you don't have time. And to quote Martin Lawrence, somebody else got your time. That's what's going to happen to Nathaniel Hackett, because we figured it out in November. It's remarkable how obtuse and asinine this has been this season, for it to take this long to figure that out about your veteran Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Ooh, we hit a little bit of a soft spot on Cecil Lammy on this. Cecil, as always, I love hanging out with you. Thank you so much for all your insight. I know you gotta head to Broncos, so we're gonna let you go as we bring in Jake Shapiro, because he is our King Supers winner of the week for Pick'em. Jake, how are you this morning?
Good. I'm just gonna.
What is that? Is that a bagel? No, it's a muffin.
No. It's an awesome muffin from King Supers. Because, Rachel, I'm sorry, it's a little dry.
Unbelievable.
You need to wash it down. When you win King Supers Pick'em 3 times in 1 year, you can just walk into King Supers, champ, by the way. You can walk into King Supers and get whatever you want. And I don't know if people know, but King Supers is a wonderful place full of mystery and wonder and food. I love it there. I just stand at King Supers now and I'm like, how will I spend all of this oodles of money today? And there's lots of ways.
Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous. If you don't already play King Supers Pick'em, come play with us. You can enter and to win a year's full of groceries from King Supers. I get so jealous every single time. Jake texts me every single time too, and he's like, I think I'm gonna win. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Jake. I've been tied with you once, just once. Otherwise, I've been pretty bad at Pick'em. But it is an awesome opportunity. Again, you can win weekly too. So it's not like if you haven't joined already, you can still join in. It's a great opportunity. But Jake, tell me, what's the weather going to be it's a magical wonderland. I totally agree. I am a huge King Supers girl. Like King Supers, I grew up going to King Supers. It's my place. What's the weather going to be like in Tennessee come Sunday for the Broncos-Titans game?
Well, we're back to Fahrenheit, Rachel, which is nice.
Hallelujah.
We all know what this means. 45 degrees, sunny and clear. Simple as it gets. Fall football. Going to be a slightly chilly day. We'll see if that affects the passing of the Broncos at all, if that bothers the Broncos at all. I don't think they've really had a colder game yet, Rachel. Like, this is going to be the coldest game they've played. Of course, they're at practice right now today, and it's 45 degrees in Denver. So it's not like it's unheard of. But yeah, as Cecil said a couple days ago on Coffee Break, the seasons are changing. The style of football changes with the seasons. So we'll start to see maybe the Broncos are more designed for this secondary season of football than the first one they weren't designed for.
Oh, you can only hope. I also want to talk to you, Jake, about this Colorado Avalanche team, because so many people last night were excited about Shane Bowers. And it started off great, right? We were all excited for him to get out there. He played for a minute 46 or something, right around that. And then he ends up going into the tunnel, which is a huge bummer. And then Jared Bednar gave an update after the game. He said it sucks seeing him get hurt so early into his debut. It's just such a bummer, Jake. Like, when somebody of that talent, you're so excited to see, everyone was talking about him, and then an injury happens.
Well, we really don't even know what he is, right? Like, Shane Bowers was the last guy from his draft class in the first round to make his NHL debut. So for years now, Avs fans have been waiting for this moment. You could say almost in a way Bowers is a bust because he hasn't been up yet. I am a little bit more patient, and I was really happy to see his debut. See what the Avs got back for Matt Duchene. Of course, he's one of the many pieces the Avs got back for Matt Duchene. But yeah, I feel awful for Shane on top of all this. Like, he played 100 seconds in his NHL debut and goes down. I just hope it's not that bad and he's able to get another chance towards the end of the season. There's one thing we know about hockey. It's guys get hurt all the time. So there's possibly an opportunity for him down the road if other guys on the team are hurt and he gets another call up. But it was a perfect opportunity now with how many guys the Avs have hurt for him to come in and solidify himself and say, hey, I'm part of this NHL lineup. I have a chance here. Let me show you, Jared, that you can't take me out of the lineup. And before he even gets that chance, it's robbed from him. So if he doesn't get another moment in the NHL, which I doubt will happen, there's a little bit of Moonlight Graham to him. So it's sad.
And you wonder too if it's just because the Avs had so much talent and depth moving forward. You know, for someone to come into that, you have to obviously be extremely, extremely talented and already on a talented roster. Another injury update is that Darren Helm is going to the long-term injury reserve. We'll keep everybody updated on that at denverfan.com as well. That's going to do it for our Friday edition. Thanks to Troy. I know we had a few others hop in that didn't actually get to hop in. Like, we couldn't get cameras and mics to work, but we appreciate you guys doing our very first town hall with us. If you do like this, let us know, because it's something we could incorporate to more of. We're always changing things here on Coffee Break. As you know, we're always trying to engage all the viewers. We appreciate all the comments talking about the uniforms, the stadium, etc. Jake and I appreciate all of it. Same with James, Cecil, DMAC, and we will see you guys on Monday for Coffee Break, but we do have all of our game day coverage coming on Sunday, so we will see you guys all then. 10:45 for pregame live. Broncos Titans. We'll see you guys then. Bye.